Hey folks, how you doing out there today? Remo back, and we are out on the new Highway Haulin map 2, which is named Bentwood County. And I have some really good news today, and that is that I have finally finished getting all the tasks put in the map. Right now, we're looking at 30 different missions. We have a whole bunch of contracts here. We got recoveries, we got the oil rig, we got the off-road park, we got a few other little odds and sods around the map. And we're looking at, I believe it's about 10, 11, 12 different tasks that you can go out and find. 6 watch points. Most of these tasks, and some of them especially, have 3 or 4 different deliveries, so really you should get quite a bit of playtime out of this one. I haven't gone through and tested anything. I actually just today loaded up the final version, had a few errors, had to work through those in the error log, and now I've actually officially got the map up and going here. What we're going to do is go out and complete one of the tasks, which is bringing the welders some of the tools they forgot out at the pipeline that we're going to repair. So this one is kind of a prerequisite to completing the pipelines. There is a few blocker tasks that are involved in this map, so you're going to have to kind of work your way through a few different things. But all in all, I think it's going to be a lot of playtime. I've added, I think, most of the little stuff in around the houses and factories. I've added a few more places into the map above what you're playing on the version that's out right now. So basically there's a little bit more to do. A bunch of refining that I've done to areas that you're playing on. I moved around and added to some of the recovery tasks that were out there. There are still only 7 vehicle recoveries, but a couple of them have trailers that you're going to have to recover with it now. And like I said, this is just one of the tasks I picked that was going to be fairly quick, fairly easy. We're going to head a fair ways across the map and out through the swamp. I haven't really spent a lot of time out in this swamp. Mud should be pretty good, but we got John Hot Rod's elevation mod, which I really haven't had out very much, and it's just an awesome looking truck. All John's mods look awesome and work awesome. He's got to be one of my favorite modders out there right now, and I really appreciate the work you put in, man. We are just going to be grabbing the small off-road trailer. I can't remember which season it showed up, and we're going to be just pulling it, like I said, down the highway for a bit. We're going to go up through the off-road camp. You can see that area kind of finished up. Then we're going to head out into the swamp and cut our own path for a little bit. What we're looking at on this map is basically we have the oil rig area where the actual drilling rig is, which is going to have a bunch of tasks. We have a refinery that we're going to build back up and reopen. There's a pipeline that we have to fix, which are kind of all intermingled through, I think, 7 or 8 tasks to do all the oil stuff, a few big trailer hauls, bunch of little cargo. Worked into that is I have the log road and bridges that you can build across the swamp. That's going to make the whole ordeal quite a bit easier to get stuff out there. But that couple of tasks they're going to have their own amount of work, but I think it's going to be worth it when you make a few of these hauls. The only trail out to the rig site right now is a swamp trail, and should be pretty thick mud, although I haven't been down it since I readjusted it more. Haven't heard a lot of negative things anyone's found on the first version of the map. Maybe partially because we all know it's an early version of it, so it's probably not being scrutinized as much as it could be. But this one, I'm really hoping to get in a little bit of testing time over the next night, 2 nights, and if everything more or less checks out through a bit of playtime, a bit of looking through the missions in game and then going through it with kind of a fine-tooth comb in the editor, I should be able to figure out if everything's more or less working. Hopefully at that point it's going to be you guys all finding, you know, spelling mistakes or maybe a mislabeled stuff. I gotta be honest, I have not even started localizing any of these maps. It's a pretty daunting task, and I just haven't got to it. I've pretty much only been able to spare time at building the map. It's something that I will definitely get to at some point. I just don't know when I'm gonna have time. But I will set up the maps to take the localization files when needed, but right now we're just going to be running with the English version. Pretty much once I get this out and all sorted out, make sure it's good, I'm going to essentially start working on the region version. There's going to be a bunch more tasks in the region version. Right now we're at 30 and I kind of cut myself off. I had a whole bunch more I could add in. I don't want to make the single map too cluttered, and there aren't. That was a nice trailer smack on the bridge there. Everything's fine, no tire issues. It's hard to have enough loading areas in this map. This map, if you've been out on it, it's almost in between towns. There's a few populated areas, but the most part, it's quite a rural map, and when you get to the other side of the map, it's kind of where you're going to get and do everything. So I've done the best I can to kind of spread out where the cargo loading is. Some of it's going to be, I wouldn't say repetitive, but there's quite a few different things at the port. And some of those things are actually going to be on map 1 in the region version. So I've done my best to make the single map fun. A whole bunch of tasks in it. And anyone that is suffering from not enough memory to play it, like a Switch unit, or say you want to have a few extra trucks and you don't want to download the region version, both of these are going to be available, the South River map and the Bentwood County map, in single map versions if you like. But the true adventure and what I've really built these maps to be is a region, and you're going to get a lot more drive time, and it's all going to make a little bit more sense when I get the two maps put together and carry on from there. Just been kind of mulling it over lately. I don't know, would love to hear everyone's opinion on if I should carry on with the third map of this region. The Ice Roads region really has me intrigued, and I was almost wondering if I should take a break from this and maybe start on the Ice Road stuff, or if I should see this out to the finish. It never hurts to kind of mix it up a bit. I wouldn't be away from it long. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards at least getting the third map of this region done and then doing the Ice Roads. But let me know what you think. The Ice Road thing just really intrigues me. It could be a really fun region. Everyone really seems to like the single map that I did. And I'm gotta be completely honest with you, I wasn't in a good mindset at that point of my modding career. And I wasn't super happy with just how the game was going, and the lack of approval time, or the insane approval time is what I'm trying to say, with mods getting through. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little teed off at that point, and I just kind of, look at that damage. That was 1215 on one tire. Ouch. Anyways, I was just a little, I kind of threw that together at the end, and that's when I took a break for, I think at least a month or two, just kind of cool off and refocus. And I think I can do a lot better than that first map. Like I said, that was one I just kind of threw together at the end and get it out to everyone because I wanted it to be out there and it was part of the Highway Haulin region. But I learned a lot from building that one. I don't know. It's something I'd really like to do in the future. I will do. The other thing, and I get asked a lot, is taking on a Fraser Island map. I know the sand physics isn't exactly what we would want, but pretty sure I can make something work. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah, let me know. I probably should just finish at least the third map of this region and then go to the ice roads, but if everyone's saying let's do some ice roads for a bit, I wouldn't mind switching over that way either. So this is the first time I've really spent too much time in the swamp other than a quick couple video shots, and I think it was mostly on the road. This swamp is definitely made to be a spot where you cut your own trail. This river is just about too deep. Shouldn't be consistent all the way through. It'll be muddier in spots, it'll be rockier in spots, deep water, shallow water, so pick your area where you cross. I honestly didn't remember if that was too deep or not. I think when you get out to where the rivers meet up, it's pretty deep out there. You'll find out when you go for a run. Pretty happy with the mud here. This is the vanilla version of the elevation, the vanilla-ish spec. And I really appreciate having that version. I'm one that definitely leans towards more of a realism play. You can probably tell that from my maps. I just, little things, like when I build a map, I do not make straight up and down land unless I want it to look like a cliff. Like it's all those little things that really sell giving a realistic playthrough. And to each their own. Some of those maps are really fun. Again, you got to kind of play it for the video game too. We want it to be real, but it isn't. This we just crossed is that log road that's going to go out to the rig that you can build. I think it's going to be 8 loads of logs. Something like that, if I remember how I coded it in. And then you also have to build the bridges. So it's going to be a fair bit of work on its own, but it's going to be worth it when you're hauling the big stuff out there from all the way back at the rail yard or the port, whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think of this so far. I'm pretty happy with it. I can see some areas in around here where the grass isn't spawning on the green texture. So that's something I have to go through and just kind of clean up a little bit. Again, it's not life or death, but that kind of stuff it bugs me a little bit when it's just from painting the mud, and you can kind of overlap with the brush a little bit, and it doesn't take much to make grass not spawn. The game thinks it's mud even though it looks like grass, so I just go in and clean up a few spots like that. I've tested all the vehicle recoveries, so I know the Kodiak, I was told, is kind of caught in the ground or a tree when you went to rescue it in the first version. Everything seems to be good now. I actually moved it to a new spot, but same kind of idea. It's definitely getting a little deeper in here. I think we're caught on a tree or something. There's a whole bunch of fallen trees around this map, but I've found that the pine looking trees break a lot easier, so I've used those. I didn't put any of the aspen and birch tree fallen trees are the ones that really get stuck in the truck and just get frustrating, so I haven't used them at all in the map. Tried to use the ones that give you a bit of a problem but you can still get over. You know, little things like that. And now it's just quality of life. Like I said, nobody's found anything glaring enough to just come out and say this is junk, it doesn't work. Oh, the other thing I did get a notification about was the train on console didn't seem to spawn on the tracks correctly. It would get stuck sometimes and fall over. So I did lift that model up a little bit higher off the track so it should drop onto it properly. Anyone who's on console playing, when this new version gets approved and released, let me know if that's working properly, because that's a couple tasks that you're going to do with that train, and I'd like to get that fixed up ASAP if it doesn't work, and I really have absolutely no way of testing it other than counting on you folks to find the issues and let me know. As far as doing the region, I have a bit more work to do to this map, but it's more or less set up for the 2-map region. But I do have to go over the first one, make a copy of it, and change some stuff and add some stuff to work with this one now that it's out. I did build it with the intent, but I by no means had this map planned out exactly what I was going to do. But now that I know how it's turned out and what's on the map, definitely going to, shouldn't take too long to work it in, but I do have a little bit of stuff to do. I added a few more crafting tasks on this one as well. Didn't overdo it. The crafting stuff is basically bigger things. It's not like you have to craft wooden planks every time you need them for all the different tasks. It's more like I had the cabins before. A drill bit for the drill rig is something you have to craft. And there was something else, I can't remember. I'll have to look around and let you know next time, or perhaps when you get out on it you can see. But bottom line, we're just about where we need to be here, and it's getting tough right near the end. Bottom line is I should hopefully, basically maybe this weekend, if time goes well and testing goes well, have the newest version out. Now, I wouldn't expect it to be approved for a while. I imagine everyone's off on Christmas holidays. Unfortunately, I just couldn't hammer it together quick enough, but hopefully not long after everyone's back and going, we can get the full version out. Everyone can have some fun. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks for watching, as always.